Hello everybody, and welcome to a new YouTube series dedicated to the question of why. In a world with an overflow of information and opinion, statistics and biases, it is hard to see how the average person can even start to make sense of society, socioeconomics, or government. It's time to cut away at the tangled intellectual mess we have distorting our core driving goal, to reveal a simple fixed value our subconscious will always tend towards. The evolution of civilization is driven by this core motivation. Our advancement in the relationship between people at all levels of society is nothing but a progression upon this simple idea. The freedom of people to exercise control over their lives, the freedom to choose their own destinies. Like an instinct, everyone is born with this, and no matter what force, coercion, or indoctrination is put upon them, over generations, this fixed core value will continue to agitate for its own promotion. Even for those who have accepted their oppression for their times on this earth, be they personal or social constraints, this is a major reason for their unease at its most basic level. Once you understand this, you realize how civilization has collectively continued to advance, through the darkest episodes and the largest setbacks. People will always seek to advance this one idea because this is what drives us all at our core. The dualism to this is also quickly apparent. To advance one's own freedoms does not hinder people from infringing on the freedoms of others. And for this simple reason, the driving force for civilization's advancement is also the reason for its greatest setback. As this core driving instinct is buried so deep in our subconscious, it expresses itself as feelings to the experiences we have. Not knowing or being able to articulate why we have these feelings is what leads us to the many unfortunate reactions we see expressed today, as people try to cater for this underlying desire they can't fully articulate in their logical conscience. It is no coincidence that those who are the most aggressive in restricting the rights of others, often women, live in societies that are highly restrictive in of themselves. Oppression of others is a dangerous opiate for those who feel unempowered themselves. This conflict between the desire to increase one's own freedom at the cost of others and the need to sacrifice one's own freedom to ensure a functioning society has been a driving force of conflict throughout time. Religion, government, cultures, all are simply a set of rules that attempt to resolve this core dilemma. Our collective history is proof of this continued struggle and gradual advancement in fits and starts. The removal of hereditary title, the Bill of Rights, constitutions, equal rights, the end of slavery, all are moves to end the power that some people have over others. And today, the ever-increasing nanny-state, the explosion of the number of arbitrary rules and regulations, the exponential increasing complexity of legal, economic, and political activities beyond the accessibility of the average citizen, are the signs that people are once again increasing their freedoms at the cost of others, increasing their power over others. People feel this, most just don't know why they feel this. Depending on their collective history, societies subconsciously accept that they must relinquish some power or control to varying authorities to a greater or lesser extent, but each one will begin to react if they believe this contract is being abused. No matter what a people's level of freedom may be, members of society can inherently feel if their perceived level of control over their own lives is improving or worsening in comparison to whatever their starting level was. The instinct has no end value, just a continual desire to improve. We have arrived at a point where our collective history has provided enough examples that we can begin to rationally determine the level of voluntary self-determination we are willing to relinquish to authorities for the purpose of gaining greater self-determination due to the additional freedoms that being part of a functioning large society provides. The biggest threat to an individual's freedom boils down to the concentration of power, social, political, or economic. Note that these have very rarely been separate throughout all of history. Power can not only corrupt, but it draws corruption to it over time. Those that want to increase their own perceived freedom and control at the cost of others by having power over them. Though leaders in every field may be the shining example of morality, it is the system itself which is self-destructive by its very nature, drawing those that would seek to manipulate and distort the system for their own aims. And the more concentrated the power is, the easier this is to achieve. If the system itself is such a negative influence, then no level of good people in it can keep the system honest in the long run. So we arrive at an uncomfortable truth for some. Changing the people at the head of a corrupt system is not enough. You must choose people willing to change the system itself to a less corruptible form. To help us identify the balance of the final system form, we will continuously weigh it against the negative and positive aspects of identified core desire. The freedom of people to exercise control over their lives, the freedom to choose their own destiny. This is not a complex idea. It is actually very simple to implement a system that not only serves our collective core need of self-determination, but provides the optimal grounds for all our well-being. Let's deconstruct and demystify the social arrangements we will find ourselves in today. In the upcoming episodes, we will go through all aspects of human interaction one at a time and see how this one core driving force allows us to clearly understand why humanity has progressed the way it has, and how we can use this knowledge to help ourselves moving forward. I would also like to put the call out to you, the viewer, to leave in the comments section things you would like to have explained in terms of what I believe to be humanity's defining driving force. I would like to put this idea of a central defining human motivator to the test, so let me know. Until then, take care.